Alright, g'day again. Okay, I have managed to get this engine casing back together. I've had the crank round, new bearings. I didn't put new bearings in the cam. They weren't that worn. Didn't look too bad at all. However, I got a bit of wear in our little ends, but we got a bit of wear in the bore as well. This is one value about a Beetle engine. So you don't have to do everything at once, you know. Like, yeah, I mean, these are in order because they're going back in with the same rings, same cylinders, not bored. You know, even the little air bearings, you don't want to mix them up. You don't want to put a pin onto a different little air bearing that's worn into it. So if you're not putting new stuff in, yeah, make sure everything goes back the same way it comes apart. But as you can see, yeah, got a bit of wear in there. It's not like you can see it, you can't feel it. So it's not excessive. Yeah, I don't have to worry about breaking rings or anything like that. Rings themselves, yeah, they're not stuck to the piston. Yeah, they've still got plenty of spring left in them, so yeah, they'll get me by for the time being. Yeah, so as I said, possibly, yeah, sometime in the future. I'll look at swapping them over. I think it's actually cheaper to buy new barrels and pistons than it is to get it all rebored and whatever. You just buy the whole set from Just Campers. And yeah, anyway, so everything's been cleaned out, and I do have a an issue with one of the valves. This would have been from when I was making the manifold. It's been scrubbed. Be careful decarbon on things like this, because you definitely do not want to scratch this edge here, which is where the barrel sits. These don't have a gasket. It's just steel under the aluminium. So yeah, you got to be real careful not to scratch any of that. I'll clean that a bit further yet on the inside, like, yeah, where it mates up to the barrel. That's the rest of it. That's as clean as it's going to get. Yeah, it's not a shaker. It'll get heaps dirty again. Right. See that one valve, that one inlet valve? It's sticking up. I'd say, yeah, when I was making that manifold, you know, like making it with the knowledge that I was about to rebuild the engine, I was about to pull it apart. I didn't worry about blocking ports or anything, but there's a chunk of metal or something that's, or welding dag or something that's gone down in there, and then when I've unbolted it, it's jamming the valve open. So yeah, I'm actually going to take that valve out. Not going to bother with the rest of them, because when I bought this engine, the heads have only just been redone. You know, they've done what have I done? Probably 5,000-6,000 k's. So yeah, they should be still plenty good. But anyway, as I said, I'll take that one valve out, find out why it's sticking open, and yeah, fix the issue. I didn't video any of the assembly of this, and yeah, for the total reason is that, like, I've done, yeah, quite a few motors, probably more bike motors than car motors, but I've done quite a few of both. But this is the first time ever putting a Volkswagen engine together, and it's fairly complex. There's quite a lot of things to consider. You know, like, you don't have bearing caps, your casings hold the bearings in place, and you got dowels and things you got to line up. You got to grease everything. You know, the camshaft that's got to line up with the crankshaft, yeah, etc, etc. So I didn't want a video, you know, in case I'm doing it wrong. I don't want anybody copying me doing it wrong. I mean, I think I've done everything right, but no, I watched 2 videos of professional mechanics putting them together, so, and I'm trying to copy what they're doing. So yeah, if you're about to assemble an engine, I'd suggest you do just that. Yeah. Watch videos by qualified mechanics who have done a lot of Volkswagens. I've just finished cleaning all the snots off it. I say snots, you know, like excess silicon. Because they don't have a gasket in the outside, they just have silicon. I cleaned that off just for appearance, just so it doesn't look bodge. But yeah, the main areas, you know, you need to get all the excess off. It's in here where other things bolt up to it. In the rear where your main seal goes in, you don't want any excess in there. Yeah. I did have an issue, 2 issues actually. One is when I got all the bearings sat in the casing, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bearings, and I think it's 5 anyway. 3 were sitting in tight, 2 were a little bit loose. What that means is that the casing itself's a bit warped. You know, like they haven't spun the bearings and chewed it out or anything. They can't spin it because they've got dowels holding them in. That was another issue too. I lost 2 of the dowels in the process of washing it. Yeah. Out there in the dirt. Yeah, you got Buckley's are finding 2 little dowels. When I say dowels there, you know, 9 mil long, 5 mil thick. They had a look anyway, but yeah, there's not much chance of finding that. So I had to find a 5 mil bolt, and I only had, luckily I had 2. That's all I had, and I needed both of them. So, but yeah, a 5 mil bolt that's got a raised shank, and that's what fitted in there. So like the shank's 5 mil. So I cut them down and measure the height and make sure they weren't sticking up too far or not enough and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so I replaced 2 of the dowels. I mean, the best idea is to go and buy the right ones, but yeah, I'm putting this together today, and yeah, I've got another 2 weeks to wait for a couple of dowels. Yeah, so yeah, not when I can make them anyway. I mean, make them satisfactorily. It's not going to be an issue. The other issue I had, I've had to recently buy 2 torque wrenches, a big one that goes up to 300 foot-pound, and I bought a small intermediate one, which is supposed to go from 18 to 100. And paid a lot of money for the big one. That was about $300. This one was about 70. But yeah, what I find is it won't click. Yeah, below about 30 pound. It just won't click. Which, yeah. So, and I discovered that after doing up these main casing bolts. Well, you look on there, they're 12 mil thread, but it must be the alloy itself that'll crush if you over tighten them or so, I don't know. But, you know, I would think they'd handle a lot more torque than 18 pounds, but yeah, I probably done them up to 40 or something before I realised it's not clicking, you know. I've done 2 of them up, sort of. So I've undid them again, and like even the initial hand tighten was probably more than 18. So I've loosened them all again. Then I thought, well, they've already been sort of over tightened now. And because of that, and because, as I said, there seems to be a bit of a buckle in the casing, so probably the initial, or the suggested 18 pound is probably not enough to take the buckle out of the casing, Like they would have buckled through heat, through having worn bearings, etc. Now they got new bearings. They need to reshape to the new bearings, and I was thinking I probably wouldn't need to run it in for very long, a 10-minute drive or something. But yeah, I think it's going to be a bit more than that, because it's actually quite tight. But yeah, what I said is it wouldn't click under 30 pound. So, like 30 pounds still not a lot of torque, It's not, I wouldn't say excessive, especially on big bolts like this. So, but that's the lowest I could set it where it'd actually click, and I did want to get them all even. That's probably more important than anything, is that they're all the same torque. So yeah, instead of the recommended 18 pounds, they're all done up to 30. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm not used to doing things up to low torques, Usually anything under about, excuse me, anything under, 30, I guess that, like these, I torque these. I pull them around, I've done them for, I've been doing them for 50 years, and what I do is, I made a video on it actually, you have a tool that's a certain length, and you know how much pressure on it you can put on it. You can sort of pull it at a certain amount of torque, and it comes to a stop, and that's where you stop. It's, as I said, it's a learnt thing, and you learn it through overdoing things, pulling threads out, snapping bolts, not doing it up tight enough, having them come loose, As I said, it's a learned thing over 50 years, so, if you don't have a considerable amount of experience, then use a torque wrench. But as I said, these are probably only 12, 15 pounds or something. So a torque wrench is going to be totally useless to do them anyway. So I'm going to have to buy another torque wrench, a smaller one, I suppose, eventually. But anyway, as I said, so I just did that. I'm up to, they're all even, but probably a little more. They're probably all done up to 20 pound anyway as well. So, but I said it's a little tighter than I would like it to be. It's not excessive tight. It's not binding. There's no, doesn't go tight, loose, anything like that. But as I said, it's a little tighter than I would like it to be. And, I gather that's, as I said, with these casings being a little bit warped. That's one thing I heard a lot of. I heard it from engine reco places, or one in particular. But I've heard it on videos too, that the best option for these, you got an old engine, is to get them line bored, and then go a bigger outer as well as a bigger inner. So they do. It must be a fairly common thing, because when you look up the bearing sizes at the Volkswagen places, they come with a range of bigger outers. So that must be a common thing that you do with these. But anyway, as I said, it's together now. I'm confident it's going to be okay. But as I said, I'm going to, because it's tight, there's going to be a little bit of a run-in period. As I said, not excessively tight, but it's not loose either. So anyway, stop rambling now and leave it at that. Oh, yeah, one more thing I had to mention. Both videos I watched, they had the casing sitting upright like this. Well, it's not quite upright, but that's where the pin is on the engine stand. But and they've put all the lifters in, ganked it all up, and then they managed to get the rods to stand upright, and they just sewed it on. I, for one, couldn't get the rods to stand upright anyway, so I was going to get it sitting on the studs and then hold it with one hand and get the rods up with the other hand and that sort of thing. But as soon as I tipped it up, all four of the lifters fell out of the stock casing. So what I did was I took the pin out and laid it flat and put it in that way. And even then, I started getting the casing on, and then the rods were jamming. I couldn't get the rods to come out, so I had to get some couple of me spray paint hangers. These rods, and hook them onto the connecting rods and feed them out through these holes, so that I could lift it as I pushed it, and etc. etc. Anyway, as I said, I'm pretty confident it's going to be right. So okay, thanks for watching. Bye.